Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and tonight's episode is episode 157, and I am truly honored to bring you my guest this evening, singer, songwriter, Paris Winningham from Jacksonville, Florida. So you guys know Paris from season 21 of NBC's hit show, The Voice. He was a fan favorite. He finished in the top 3, and Paris has been singing his whole life and is a Navy veteran. Paris is in the house, and Paris, whenever you're ready, come on in and let's get this interview started. Hey guys, how we doing? What is your favorite song that Paris sings? Let me know. Hello, hello, and there he is.
Family,
Paris!
what's going on?
Paris, how are you?
And I'm blessed. I can't complain. Can't complain.
Paris. Paris, thank you so much for spending your evening with me on my show. As I've told you before, you were one of my favorite singers from season 21 of The Voice, and I'm so honored for you to come on my show and for you to just shed some light on your musical journey.
Well, thank you so much, man. It's a privilege. I couldn't think of a better way to spend my evening. So yeah.
Aw, you're so sweet. So let's start at the very beginning of your life, during childhood. I want to talk about how music played a part in those early years in your life.
The early years, I can honestly say, my dad was pretty much like the focal point when it comes to the early years of my life. My mother was on the spiritual side. My mother was like my spiritual root. You know, my dad was also a spiritual root, but at the same time, when it came to music, because it was a passion of his, he was really like, he really pressed that upon me. And when it became apparent that I had, vocal ability, then it just like intensified for him. And he pushed the narrative even harder, hey, be very passionate about your gift. Don't play around with your gift. I would get upset with him sometimes because I just be singing around the house and I just be messing around, and halfway singing, and every time, never failed. He'd be like, hey boy, if you're gonna sing it right. Don't play with it. I'm like, man, I'm trying to have fun. Like, I'm just like minding my own business, and you come in ruining my fun. And I didn't understand. I did not understand why at first. But now that I look back on it, I understand that he was trying to teach me a lesson. So now I'm really protective over my voice and what I do with my voice, and knowing that this is my golden goose. This is me right here. This is what pays my bills. So
Yeah.
I most definitely protect it. I wish I started protecting a whole lot more earlier. I think I'd be able to do a whole lot of different other stuff with my voice, but I'm happy right now where I am. I can say that.
So as a kid, you're singing around the house. You're not doing 150%. Maybe you're doing 40%. But what are some of the songs that you're singing during those childhood years?
Whoo! My childhood years. Let's see. So one of my favorite songs to sing back in the day. I used to love Kurt Franklin. Like, I was a real heavy Kurt Franklin fan.
Yeah.
So I was melodies from heaven. I used to love singing that. My first solo, honestly, crazy enough, my first solo was what was it? Lord. It was Now Behold the Lamb by Kurt Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first solo, and I was like, yo, I can sing. I can actually sing. And it's funny because they told me, meaning my aunt, she was the head of the youth choir.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, Paris, I want you to sing this song exactly how, you know, it sounds on here. She was like, just copy exactly what she does.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, fine. So they played us. I was like 5, 6 years old, maybe.
Wow.
And so they played the song. I'm listening to it, and I was like, okay. And then I started singing, and I did what they wanted me to do, and they were like, what in the world? They was like, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. And she's calling people in, and she's like, you gotta hear this. Listen to this. Parents, do it again. And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, well, what are we so excited about? Because you told me to do it. I'm doing what you told me to do. So, you know. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized, hey, dude, you can sing, man. I was like, okay. Well, what? I didn't know exactly what to do with it at that time. I really, you know, passionate about it. I just love to sing, and I knew I loved music. But yeah.
And what was it about music that you think you loved so much about it growing up?
It was my escape. It was my escape. So it's no mystery for those people that follow The Voice. I'm adopted. So me being younger, I didn't understand the whole story, and I didn't understand adoption in general. I couldn't, you know, comprehend why, you know, and so I carried anger with me for an extremely long time.
Yeah.
I was frustrated. I was angry for a long time. And even living in that frustration and that anger, music gave me an escape from that frustration and anger. Music helped me get out of that little hole that I was in, that I felt like, you know, I would sink in from time to time. And so I found my escape in music. And I, you know, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't understand it, but the only thing I understood was the fact that when I listen to music, when I sing or whatever, all of that disappears. Like, you know, everything, you know, all the issues, all my problems disappear, and it's just me and the music, you know. So that's what I fell in love with when it came to music.
And then when you talk about Kirk Franklin and you think of how incredible his music is and how it touches your soul, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this and I have this anger, but I listen to this song and I sing this song and I'm just transported to this different time.
So it was Kirk Franklin. One of the songs, funny, I actually sang it on The Voice, Amazed by Lone Star.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember the day I heard that song. I was in the I was in the car. I used to ask my mom and dad, hey, can I get the keys to the car? And they said, yeah, you know, what you want the keys to the car for though? I just want to sit there and listen to music. And that's exactly what I would do. I would sit in the car and I would burn their gas and I would just listen to music, you know, for like it could have been hours for me, you know, but I would just sit there and I would listen. And I remember hearing Amazed by Lone Star. I was getting ready to, you know, go back in the house, and the song came on. And I didn't remember the whole song. The only thing I remembered was every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. And that's the only part I remembered. And so I would just sing that over and over and over again. And Dad was like, what is this song you keep singing? And I was like, I heard it on the radio. And he was like, well, I need you to learn the rest of that song so you can, you know, you get on my nerves. Like, learn the rest of the song. But I fell in love with, you know, I fell in love with it. And that was my little escape song. So to sing it on The Voice, I think that was my first, I don't think, that was the first country song I ever fell in love with. And to sing it on The Voice was just like full circle. It's crazy how it ended up happening.
Yeah, because you heard it when you were young, and then now you're singing it on this public stage all these years later. For
the first time. And it's crazy. So I tell people, I didn't pick that song. Blake actually picked that song.
Wow.
And so it was supposed to be Challenge Week. And I kid you not, when I heard the song, and they sat me down and said, hey, here's a song that, you know, Blake wants you to do. And I'm listening to it. And I'm like, bro, I fell in love with this song when I was a kid. And,
Yeah.
you know, I had to fight back the tears, even listening to it. That song brings me back. It's like music can be like a teleportation device. And it can take you back to, you know, some good times, take you back to some bad times, you know. But music is just in so many aspects, so many things, and so many people. It can help you heal. You know, it can rile you up if you want to get riled up. It can, you know, so it's like the perfect. It's perfect for any situation that you want to go through. And that's why music is so important to me, because we hold a responsibility as artists to guide the person in whatever emotional route that they, you know, they want to go or they need to go. If they need healing, if they need to feel happiness and joy, your music should express that to teleport them to those happy times, those peaceful times, those good times. You know, so that's why I take being an artist extremely serious, because we hold a huge responsibility.
Yeah. And I love what you said about transporting you back to a specific time, right? Because you hear a specific song, like for instance, Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Loved it. Loved it.
Of course you do. So for those people who are not familiar with Paris or The Voice, so Paris was on The Voice season 21 last year. And for his blind audition, he sang Stevie Wonder's Superstition. So let's talk about why you chose Superstition for your song.
I'm known for this phrase. I'd always tell them, you know, hey, let's hit them in the mouth with something good, you know. And so, I was talking to a strategy of mine, and those that are listening, feel free to, you know, to take this strategy, to pick what songs I wanted to sing, or whatever song I wanted to sing for my blind audition. I didn't pick it by myself. I got my band together, and we, you know, got together. We did a Zoom call, and I said, hey guys, look, here are some songs. Let's try to pick from these, you know, from this list, and try to see what we can come up with. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to get a group of people together that knew my voice and knew what I sound good on. Because I tell people like this, I tell them, I say, hey, look, you might love a song, but just because you love a song doesn't mean that it's right for your voice. Right. You know, you can love it all day long, and it can be one of your favorite songs. Doesn't mean that's a song for you. Superstition, it was right in my wheelhouse, you know, and perfect song for me, not to give too much, but just enough for people to be like, yo, all right. You know, he's got some heat, you know, so I wanted to give him just a little bit. I didn't want to give him too much, but I wanted to take him on that roller coaster ride, and we sure enough did. I know that much for a fact.
You definitely did. So, okay, so you're talking to your band about Superstition, right? But during that conversation, what other songs came up in conversation that you were like, oh, it's these couple songs that I think I should do?
We thought about ballads. We thought about A House Is Not a Home by Luther Vandross. We thought about Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. They wanted me to do Overjoyed. I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Wait, why not?
Oh, no. Let me tell y'all something. Unless you have the vocals to pull it off, and even if you do, Overjoyed is an extremely hard song to do, especially if you're doing it on a competition platform like The Voice, American Idol. Yeah. That's a tough song to pull off. And if you can pull it off, and it's the same way with The House Is Not a Home. It's another song that's real hard to pull off, because it's known because of Luther's voice. There's certain songs that's why I was so nervous doing a Luther song. I was so nervous coming behind Luther and doing Here and Now, because I was saying in the back of my head, every time anybody hears that little piano, intro, dum 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 dum, the first voice they hear is Luther's, and I'm like, yo, I gotta come with it. Like we gotta. It's funny because Jonathan and I, when we were doing Here and Now, when we were just rehearsing, we were kind of like semi going back and forth with who should open it up, and he was like, okay, so who's gonna start it off? I said, oh yeah, you can start it off. And he's like, he tried it. I don't know how it ended up happening that I started it off. I don't even remember how it ended up. Somehow he tricked me into, turning around and opening up the song. I'm really honest, I can't even remember how I ended up opening up the song. I need to talk to him about that because that was slick. That was slick. Because at first it was all him starting it off. And then somehow I ended up taking over and starting off the song. And I'm like, man, I don't want to start the song off, But we like I said, we had fun with that one. But there was a number of songs that came up. We had at least I can't remember all of them. We had at least 20 songs, that we put together, and we said, hey, look, any of these songs will work. Superstition was at the top of the list, and sure enough, Superstition was the one that they went with. So
yeah. Great choice. And I love what you said about picking the right song. It's so important, right? Because someone might be like, oh yeah, this is a good song for you, Paris. And you're like, yeah, but this is how my voice is, and I need to do something that complements my voice because I get one shot to prove who I am to these judges. So let's bring it back to blind audition day. What was going through your mind right before you came on stage and then during that blind?
I tried my best to go numb. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I tried to clear my mind of everything.
Yeah.
But regardless, the small little thoughts that were coming up into my head was just calm down, relax, breathe, get yourself together. This is your moment. This is your time to shine. You fought to get here. You never thought you'd be here, but you're here. And then I had to be careful because then that turned into, no, for real, you're here. It's crazy because you're here. Paris, you're going to be on television, bro. And then I had to calm myself down. I'm about to be on television. I'm like, oh, all right, calm down. Bring it down. Calm down. Okay, woosah. Okay, all right, yeah, breathe. Okay, we're good. And then all of a sudden, I start thinking, I wonder how many of them will turn around. Who's going to turn around? Yo, John, Ariana, Blake, and Kelly are right behind these doors. And I'm like, no, calm down. Ooh, relax. So I'm back there. I'm fighting back and forth with my emotions. And I have the jitters. And it's funny I said jitters. So they have something that they shoot, that the little segment that they shoot before where you see people rubbing their hands or looking off into the distance or, trying to get into the moment and everything. They call that jitters.
Right.
And they were telling me, they said, Paris, just be natural, just, give us raw emotion and everything. And so for those people that watched my blind audition, before they showed me, I was bouncing around, backstage. And they're like, yeah, give me all of that. I love that. You're so natural. You're doing good at this. And I looked at them. I was like, I'm nervous. Act. Y'all think I'm acting? I'm not acting. I'm serious. I'm nervous. So the producer, that's the head producer on stage is starting to count down, and you'll hear him say, 30 seconds out, ladies and gentlemen. And you're like, dude, this is about to happen. And so I'm behind these big red doors. On this big red double door, it has stage written on it in big black letters. And so it's letting you know, right behind those doors is your future, doc. This is it. So I'm sitting there, I'm breathing, I'm trying to take deep breaths and, okay, get yourself together. Oh, okay, all right, cool. And you got your microphone in your hand, and you trying to, I was trying to get myself together, and then all of a sudden, I hear him say, 20 seconds out. And I'm like, okay, we getting closer. And then he'll say, next you know, before you even, like, it didn't feel like 20 seconds. I think he cheated, because all of a sudden I felt like right after he was like 10 seconds out. And I'm like, hey, wait a second. We was just 20, Doc. Like, calm down, man. And then next thing you know, he's like 10, 9, and he gets to 5. And when he gets to 5, he stops counting. And I'm like, wait, there's other numbers in between 5 and 1. Like, don't you need to get there? And the next thing you hear is, ladies and gentlemen, the next artist is entering now. And then the doors go, and they just swing open. And for me, when we were talking to the producers, they let us know, they walked us through how the day was going to go, and they told us, hey, look, when those doors swing open, don't feel like you have to rush out. Take a deep breath, get yourself together, then walk out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So those doors swung open. I thought about what they said, because I was getting ready to step as soon as the doors opened. And I'm like, let's go out there and do it. Stepped out, got on stage. I'm looking. I can hear them shouting, I love you, Yana. I love you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, don't make me any more nervous, because, I'm trying to ignore the fact that they're right there. Yeah. And it's funny, because I saw Kelly was the first one I saw. She was right there. And I'm looking, and she could have easily just like turned around and looked and saw me. Yeah. But she, she was looking at the audience, and she was talking, and I'm like, all right, okay, all right, Paris. I get on my marker, I look at the MD, kind of nod at him. He's like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I get on my marker, and then next thing you know, the music starts, and it's time to get in the zone. And I'll be honest with you, from the time the music started, I barely remember anything. Like, it's really? Like flashes. It's like flashes of things.
Wow.
I think, I didn't even know. So for those people watching, I didn't know that John turned around when he did. So people don't know, like, we don't hear that big, we don't hear that. Yeah. We're focused on doing our thing, because they don't have that in studio. On stage, they don't play that sound. That's edited in. So I'm looking to the audience to my right, and then next thing you know, I see a light out the corner of my eye, and I look, and it's John, and he's just sitting there looking at me, and I'm like, all right, Doc, we on the show. All right, so let's keep it rolling. And so I'm still rolling with it, and I noticed, like, halfway through the song, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Ain't nobody else turning around. I need a couple more. I need like at least one or two of y'all, more to turn around. Like, y'all stop playing with me. Ariana, Kelly, Blake, like, y'all better turn around. Somebody better turn around. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give y'all a reason to turn around. And I let out one more wail. I was like, I let out one more. Ariana turned around, and I was like, I'm good. All right, I'm good. But yeah, man, it made me feel great. Like, I'm halfway through the song, and John gets up, starts dancing, and I'm like, hey, let's go, Doc. So, man, that whole experience was a blur, but it was a blast. I had fun the whole time, and yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome from top to bottom. I had so much fun.
Yeah, your performance was electrifying, and I love seeing John dance, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're having so much fun. But it's crazy that, like, you just kind of don't remember it, because you just were like, oh my gosh,
I was in another world. I'm right now, like, I barely, man, I'm so serious. Like, people think I'm kidding when I say I barely remember anything. Like, I barely remember anything. Like, when they were like, somebody asked me, how did it feel when John put the robe around your shoulders? I don't know. I think that's kind of when I was coming out of it a little bit, because he was trying to put the robe around my shoulders, and so that's a stage prop, thing. I do actually have the robe. It's upstairs. The robe that he gave me. and I remember him trying to put it over my shoulders, but my shoulders were too broad. So he was trying to put this little small robe around me. And I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. So I'm just standing there like, trying to let him put it around me. And it's like, yeah, just give it to me, Doc. All right, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So no, it was a blast. And then going off and meeting Carson, who I did not know was that tall.
He's tall?
Oh my God.
But
Carson,
so is Blake.
2'6'3". Like, he's a tall dude.
Are Carson and Blake the same height? Because I know Blake is
Blake's
tall.
taller. Blake's 6'5".
Really?
Yeah, Blake's taller than Carson.
Wow.
Blake made me feel like a little boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gave Blake a hug, and I'm like, yeah, man. And I'm like, my head, is in his chest. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm hugging my dad, and I'm like 5 years old or something. Like I feel like a little kid and everything. And I'm like, yeah, man. So I'm like, golly, why are you that tall? But, Carson was tall. Like, I did not know he was that tall. He comes, he reaches his hand down and like for a handshake, and I'm like, yeah, all right, Doc. It was awesome though. The whole experience. I get back into the van, and I'm like, that really happened. Mm-hmm. That really happened. And the producers are like, congratulations. That's awesome. Congratulations, Paris. Okay, this is what you got coming up next. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I'm not here right now. I'm still on Mars somewhere, walking around. But when I get back, you can retell me everything that you just wanted me to know. And I promise you I'll catch on to it. But it was awesome, like from top to bottom. Like, it was awesome. I get back into the hotel room. I call my mom and dad. I let them know how excited I am. I didn't have to let them know what happened because they were, watching the whole thing live. But I just call them back, and, and they're like, grinning from ear to ear. Dad's super excited. I'm excited. And it's funny. I told my mom before I even got on the show, before I even stepped foot on the stage, before I even knew, my artist number or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I told her, I said, Mom, I would be happy, let's say, if I don't take that trophy home, I'll be happy if I just at least make it into the top 3. Like, that's it. Like, I'll be happy with top 3. And it's crazy how it worked out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because spoiler alert for those guys watching that are not familiar with Paris's journey on The Voice, you did finish in 3rd. So do you feel like it was like a force telling you? Like, okay, so you said you were like, I don't want to win, I just want to be top 3.
I honestly, okay, so for the whole time I was on the show, of course, and with the cameras in your face and everything, like I played the game. I want to win. I want to take that trophy home.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, by the time I got into the top 10, mm-hmm. Actually, so I'm sorry. By the time I got into the top 8, I was like, we just got to get into the finals. When we can get to the finale, I'm good. And as soon as Carson called my name for top 5, that was my trophy right there. I didn't care about winning from that point forward. Like, I was good. Wow. I didn't care whether I was 5 or number 1. I didn't care. And I was just like, okay, we made it further than, we thought we were ever going to make it. So let's just go ahead and let's keep on pressing through. From this point forward, it's all about having fun. Yeah. And that's all I cared about from that point forward. I just cared about having fun. And I felt like we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Paris, your performances on the show were so electrifying and emotional and passionate. Do you have a favorite performance that you had on the show?
People would ask me this, and it'd be hard for me.
Yeah.
Looking back, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between 3. Well, it's a toss up between 4 actually. Yeah. But if I really had to pick, I would say it was either Amazed or Me and Mrs. Jones. I think those are the 2 that really kind of stood out to me. I had a good time with I Wish It Would Rain. Mm-hmm. I think initially, that was like my biggest moment on the show for me. Yeah. Then having Kelly throw her shoes at me and everything. that was the ultimate sign of respect for Definitely. Any vocalist or any artist to get. And so I could say, I was the only one on the show to get some shoes thrown at him. So apparently I was doing my thing up there. I was doing what I needed to do. But those are the ones that stand out to me more so for the emotional aspect. Mm-hmm. More than anything else, I think emotionally, those songs really resonate with me. Looking at Me and Mrs. Jones and the emotional connection I have with that song. And it's funny because I got most people don't know, I got a lot of flack for singing that song on the show.
Why?
Oh, yeah. People were like, why would he pick a song about infidelity and this, that, and the third? And I'm like, it's a song. Like, yeah. And plus, if you watch the show, like you'll see in the beginning, like they do this thing, if you watch The Voice, they do this thing in the beginning before the person even touches stage, where they show you why they want to sing that specific song or why they're singing that specific song. Yeah. And so, I'm like, if you watch the show, you'll see that part before, and then you'll know, hey, that's why he's singing the song.
Exactly.
So, it was frustrating to me a little bit, but I strictly only sang that song for my dad. That was one of the first songs that I've seen the passion for music on his face. That's what captivated me. I remember like it was yesterday. We pulled up in the yard. Matter of fact, I don't think we pulled up anywhere. I think we were outside doing something, and we were just sitting down in the car. He had the radio going, and anyways, it doesn't matter. But he had the radio going, and he goes, "Oh man, oh," and he turned the song up. He said, "Yo, man, back in the day, this song, whoo, boy." And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Yo," and I see it's almost like he's getting teleported, back in time. And I see the look on his face, and the song's playing, and I'm like, Dad really loves this song, and I'm listening to it. And I'm like, yo, this is a deep song. Like, this is a heavy song. I love the soul. I love the feel. I love the groove. It's awesome. It's a beautiful song. And I didn't know nothing about what, Me and Mrs. Jones. I was like young. I didn't understand nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. The concept, I didn't understand it. But, oh yeah, man. It was a beautiful song. Amazed the same way. Like I said, I remember sitting in the car and burning my mom and dad's gas and just sitting there, listening to music. I'd do the same thing every other day. Like, I'd be like, hey, can I get the keys to the car? Yeah. Like, yeah, And this is back in the day when like gas was like 43 cents,
Yes.
Like
now it's like $7.
It's not like it was. It's not like it is now.
Yeah.
But I sat back and I listened to that song, Amazed, and it like captivated. That was my first favorite country song, and I'm like, yo, this song is freaking amazing. And I didn't know any other part, but every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. That's the only part I knew. And so I would just sing that over and over, and I'd be in the house. Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. And Dad was like, hey, boy. And I was like, yes, sir. He was like, what's that you singing? And I was like, I don't know. It's a song I heard on the radio. He was like, well, I need you to learn the rest of the words to that song because you're getting on my nerves singing that one part over and over again. But I fell in love with that song. I absolutely fell in love with that song. And that was the first song that kind of teleported me out of my frustration and anger from when I was adopted. Not understanding the concept of being adopted and what it meant and why my mother gave me up and just fighting with, my own personal demons. Mm-hmm. And sitting in that car and listening to that song took me out of that angry place. And it teleported me into like a whole nother peaceful area. That's why that song ended up, resonating with me so well. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's so beautiful that music can transport you and heal you and do all these incredible things in your life. So talking about music, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, what have you been listening to, like genre-wise, artist-wise recently?
Everything.
Yeah.
I listen to everything. I don't discriminate when it comes to music. Mm-hmm. And even if it's something that doesn't sit right with me at first, I'll still listen to it all the way through. Mm-hmm. I like to take pride in the fact that I am a fan of music.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of a specific genre. Mm-hmm. I do have, favorites: jazz, soul, neo soul, gospel. I do have favorites, but they're not so much favorites that's all I listen to.
Yeah.
I listen to everything. I got a playlist right now. You'll hear everything from Tom Misk to who else? John Mayer to this is a group that I've been following for a minute. Excuse me. I'll remember the name later. Anyways, it's like so many different artists, jazz, so Kurt Whalum, David Sanborn, just so many different artists, that I have on this playlist, and it'll take you up and down and up and down, and from even Usher. Mm-hmm. I call that my chill playlist, and I'll just sit back and I'll listen to it. I'll put it on, and I can listen to that playlist all day, every day.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I keep adding songs onto it. Like if I find another song that I like, I add it on. And so I think I'm up to maybe 100 or 200 something songs right now and everything because I just keep adding songs. Uh-huh. And I never get tired of the playlist. And I kind of I push people to, to do the same thing. If you're watching, do the same thing. Just create a playlist of all of your favorite songs and songs that you really like. And mm-hmm. then when you find a new song, just add it to the playlist. And, next thing you know, you'll get up to maybe 400 or 500 songs. All you got to do is just put on the playlist and you'll never get tired of listening to it because you got songs that you love. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I do and I would constantly do. One of my favorite artists right now, PJ Morton. Mm-hmm. That man is amazing. He is something else. Huge fan of him. Huge fan of Yebba. Mm-hmm. And another group, the group that I was trying to remember, Moonchild. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of Moonchild. Those people they are not human. But most definitely. When I was younger, it was all about John Legend for me. Mm-hmm. he was my musical idol. Mm-hmm. But right now, like I said, I listen to everything. As that's just I love music. I really do.
Yeah. So I love that you were such a huge fan of John Legend growing up. And then he was the first judge to turn for you, and he's dancing to your voice. So what does that mean to you as an artist? That it's like, oh my gosh, this is a full circle moment for me. Like John wants me on his team. Talk to me about that.
Another thing that I talked to my mom about. My mom would ask me, "Who you gonna pick?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "We're shooting for John."
Yeah,
we're shooting for John. And she's like, "Okay." Dad asked the same thing. Who you gonna pick? I was like, I'm shooting for John. And he was like, all right, well, I feel like that'd be a good fit for you. That's a smart choice. He was like, we're going to pray that we turn around John. And Mom, it's funny because Mom didn't understand too much the concept of the show. Yeah. But she was like, we just going to pray that you turn around John. That's it. She didn't really understand everything about it. She knew that if chairs turned around, that's a good thing. So she was like, I ain't care about nothing else. I just want you to turn around John. And sure enough, John turns around and I'm like, okay, you did what you wanted to do, and to have the opportunity to be a mentee of his was huge for me because, I'm like, yo, I remember coming back home from school, turning on the TV, turning on the MTV, or BET and seeing that white and black music video and that glass on this. I'm gonna take y'all back. I'm gonna see if we got some real fans of John Legend in the room. That glass of water sitting on the piano, on that black piano, on that white backdrop, and he comes in there and he starts playing, and we're just ordinary people, and I'm like, yo, this dude is freaking amazing. Like, this dude's awesome, and I fell in love from that point forward. And I'm like, yo, I want to be like that, That's where I want to be, And then to turn around, like, I'm looking at him, like, what I'm saying? I got a chance I'm face to face with him, It was a surreal moment. It like you said, full circle. It made me feel amazing.
Yeah. So when you were working with John, what were some things that he said to you that resonated with you, that really made you think like, oh my gosh, this is it?
So I was able to work with him twice, well, more than twice, but I was able to work with him with two performances.
Yeah.
And the first performance was my battle with Jonathan, where I was privileged to win that. I was honored to win that. But that takes nothing away from Jonathan. Jonathan is a dangerous vocalist. That man, I distinctly remember, I've only told a couple people this, but I remember, I didn't tell him this until after the show. But I told him, I said, let me tell you something, brother. I said, the moment you opened your mouth, and we were just in the room rehearsing, the moment you opened your mouth and started singing the song, I said in my head, bro, you're going to lose. Like, I was like, you're going to lose. Like, this dude is freaking good. Yeah. His vibrato was so smooth, and his vibrato is like butter. His voice and his tone is just so perfect. And I'm like, this dude is amazing. Like, I tell people, hearing these people on TV and over the airwaves is one thing.
Yeah.
But to be live and to hear them, that's something else. And yeah, man, it was awesome. We had a blast. But John, after one of our rehearsals, he said, I want you guys, he said, I could sit here and I could try to go through the technical points and tell you this, that, and the third. He's like, but I don't have any notes for you. I just want you guys to work on the feeling of the song. I want you guys to feel the song. And so from that point forward, he was really pressing us to really honestly make the song our own and turn it into a conversation between two guys.
Yeah.
And I credit that part to Trelawney, who was the head vocal coach. Shout out to Trelawney, the head vocal coach on the show. She said, hey guys, try not to look at it as you guys singing a duet with each other, more so than look at it as a conversation between two best buddies talking about their significant other and who they're in love with. And I'm like, okay. And I think once she said that, that shifted the whole feel, and he and I were able to lock in even further. We already had chemistry, but we kind of like sealed the deal, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. Same thing for Tennessee Whiskey. Um, he kind of told me, he said, Paris, I just really want you to bring that raw emotion out that you're so good at doing. And I really honestly I credit that performance to Ed Sheeran. If it had not been for Ed Sheeran, I truly believe I would have not been on the show if it had
Really?
not been he. So people don't understand how much he changed the song. I wish I could go back and I wish I could replay it for you guys, and just let y'all listen to how before, when I had all the instrumentation behind me, I had the drums, I had the organ, I had the piano, I had the guitar, electric guitar at that, Ed was listening, and the first thing he said was, Paris, I love your tone. He said, your tone is insane. He said, but I feel like your voice is getting lost in the music.
Yeah.
And the instruments are drowning your voice out. And he was like, I would love to hear this more acoustic. And then he looks at, the MD, Paul, and he says, how about Love You Too? I'm just noticing now. I haven't been paying attention to y'all this whole time. But I remember him looking at Paul, and he said, can we do it more acoustic? And he said, I want to hear acoustic guitar. And he was like, I feel like there should be something else. And John kind of sits back in his chair and is stroking his chin. And he goes, what about organ? And he was like, yeah, maybe organ. Yeah, let's do that. And it changes the whole song. Like, I mean, the feel, it made it so airy and light. And it changed. I knew from that point forward, I had to change how I sang the song.
Yeah.
And so that feel, was something else. That feel was something else. And little story in a story. So that right there was 2 days before my birthday. I was turning 33. I turned 33 on the show. A year before that was in a real bad accident. On August the 2nd, 2020, never forget it. I totaled my car out, and had a concussion, bruised shoulder, and welts and scars all up in my abdomen and everything. I was in pain. I was a wreck. Busted my knee up, and I thought to myself, I was like, man, that could have very well been the last day of my life. Like, I could have lost my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sitting on my couch in agonizing pain, but I'm like, still at the same time, I'm like, I'm grateful because it could have been another way. And I look at that day, and then I look at April 2nd, 2021. And I'm staring John Legend and Ed Sheeran in the face, and I'm like, one heck of a freaking birthday present. Like, this is absolutely awesome. So, it's just crazy how things ended up working out for me. But,
yeah, and it's like you think of these times in your life where you're at your lowest and you were in an accident, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm on this TV show, and Ed Sheeran is saying, oh my gosh, change the song up. We want to hear more Paris.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I was talking to Jershika, who was my my opponent for the knockout round, and I remember John and Ed were having a conversation to themselves, and Jershika standing next to me, and I looked at Jershika, and I thought I said it low enough. I said, hey, I was like, do you know how many times I've sang his songs at my gigs? Yeah. And Ed looks at me and he says, well, Paris, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty sure you can sing my songs better than I can. And I was like, bro, like, no, he did. No, he did just say that. And she looks at me. She said, "Ooh, ooh," and I was like, "Hush, leave me alone right now. Let me bask in this moment right now." Like, but it was awesome though. It was awesome.
Yeah, for Ed Sheeran to say that to you
Oh
is
man,
next level. Like, it's so cool when you get these cosigns by these amazing musicians and they're
most
like, we
definitely.
believe in you, like, we're here for you, like, we want to hear your voice. And like to get those compliments on such a big stage, and then for
Amazing.
this, yeah. And so for the voice, like I said earlier, you have these fans all over the world that are now your fans because of this show. And I think it's such a
Yeah,
cool thing.
such a huge privilege, and um, that's why I take it so serious now.
Yeah.
You know, I always took music serious,
Hmm.
but I understood the level of responsibility once I got on a national platform.
Of course.
Dare I say, international platform. I understood my level of responsibility had been upped.
Hmm.
And so now it's like, okay, cool. You went from singing in bars and clubs and singing in restaurants. Now, you're on this national platform. It's like, bro, double down and, get to work, and stay humble while you're doing it, because it could get taken away from you at any moment, so that's why you got to take it so serious. So that's why I really take my position extremely serious. That's why I'm such an open book. When
Hmm.
people ask me questions, I have no problem telling them about myself, because I'm like, hey, look, I'm human just like you. Don't put me on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Don't put me on a pedestal. I'm human just like you. I've done things that I'm not happy about. I've been hurt. I've been the one doing the hurting.
Yeah.
Been in situations I didn't see my way out of.
Hmm.
Been in situations I wanted to give up in, multiple times. But this is why I say artists in general hold the responsibility to usher people into that therapeutic state that music can put you in, and we hold a huge responsibility. So that's why I take music extremely serious now.
Hmm. Definitely. And I think it's so important what you say about you're human just like everybody else. So I guess when you're going through crazy moments in your life, what advice would you recommend to other people that are going through difficult times?
Don't be afraid to drown out the noise. Some people try to distract themselves with a bunch of mess and a bunch of noise, um, and then some people try to isolate themselves. You need to find, for those people that want to isolate themselves, try not to. That's an easy way to slip into depression. I've
Yeah.
been there. I've been there before. I was in a depression for a solid 3 years,
Hmm.
and I tell people all the time, don't get quiet, don't get closed off, and it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I've been there, so I'm not telling you from somebody who's on the outside looking in. I'm telling you from somebody that's been in the same shoes that you're in, that's
Hmm.
been in some hardship, that's been in some struggles and some fight. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts. I've dealt with I've attempted suicide. I've been in dark places where I didn't see a way out of. One thing that made me stay constant was my faith. And I totally understand, that not everybody is of the same belief that I am. Not everybody shares the same faith that I do. This is why I tell people, even if you don't believe in what I believe in, that's perfectly fine. That's totally your discretion. But at least get up in the morning, and if you don't pray, and if prayer isn't something that's important to you, or you're not religious, and you don't see prayer helping you in any kind of way, then fine. Get up in the morning and just meditate and just sit in silence and think and don't turn on any music. Don't turn on your phone. Turn your phone off if you can. You know, go into a room and just peace and quiet with you and your thoughts and just think. And when you think, don't think about your issues. Think about what you have. Think about how grateful you are for the things that you do have. Think about the simple things that, you know, and we see it as simple, but for other people, it's everything. You know, I think about the things that I take for granted each and every day, that we all take for granted: clothes on our back, shoes on our feet, roof over our head, food on our table. We take for granted all these things: life, health, and strength, blood running warm through our veins, activity of our limbs, because there's people that woke up this morning without. There's somebody right now that lost the activity of a limb. There's somebody right now that lost their life. There's somebody right now, as we're speaking, that lost their home. There's somebody right now, as we're speaking, that you know, lost their way of living. You know, so how dare we walk through without being grateful for the things that we already have? That's why I make it so adamant to say thank you. And when I pray, you know, I don't do no extra deep prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for this day. I was like, you know, Jesus is my homie. Like, we talk. I'll be like, look, Lord, I gotta tell you something. Like, I'm struggling right now. You gotta help me, you know. And I'll carry on a conversation with him. I was telling one of my friends, I said, bro, if you was to sit in my house and listen to how I interact with my Savior, you would be like, yo, the dude, you crazy, man. But it's just a conversation that I'm having, you know, and it's therapeutic. It helps me release, you know, and I start out my day, you know, praying every day. When I was out there in LA, I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I would pray faithfully every day. Doesn't matter what day of the week it was. I would get up 5 o'clock in the morning and I would pray, and then I'd roll on through the rest of the day. But it became a pattern of mine because of the simple fact that I took the position serious, and I knew that I needed to up my level of commitment. Yeah. And so that being the case, you know, I needed to up my level of commitment in every single area and aspect of my life. So, so for whoever's listening, for whoever's going to listen, you know, I know you got people in your face that telling you, don't give up, don't let go, you know. If you can find at least one thing to be grateful for, and one thing that you're happy about, one piece and one shred, even if it's a small thing, like it's you know, it seems like it's minuscule, but if you can find at least one thing that you are grateful for that brings you happiness and peace and joy, focus on that, you know. And I promise you, when you start shifting your energy, especially in depression, when you start shifting your energy, you start attracting positive energy. Like, things just start to happen differently for you, you know. And I'm a living witness that, you know, as long as you stay focused, as long as you continue to be persistent in everything that you do, you know. And I the one word that was the theme for me when I was on the show was be intentional with what you do. Yeah. You know, I would tell the other artists, be intentional with the song that you sing. Don't just sing it. Be intentional with it. Sing it like you wrote it. Yeah. You know, and that's what ended up, you know, pulling me out of my depression. You know, when I just was intentional with everything that I did. I didn't just do something just to do it. I was intentional with it. You know, whether it was, you know, praise and worship at church, or whether it was singing in a bar, or singing in, you know, a club in front of maybe 5 people. I didn't care. I gave the same energy. I was intentional with it, and that's what kind of helped me shift my energy and shift my outlook on life.
That's beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because I think intention is so important. Like, intention and being grateful. Like you said, You have a roof over your head. We have running water. Like you
Yeah,
can actually go to a light switch and turn the light on. Like there's some people that don't have that. I think a lot of people tend to take those little things that we have for granted. Like we have Wi-Fi. That's how we're doing this interview right now. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like there are people that don't have those things.
it's true.
Hmm. So I want to talk about what's coming up with Paris. Everybody wants to know, Paris, what do you have coming up in the next couple months?
Man, I got a number of things that are coming up. August 24th, excuse me, April 24th. I'm fast forwarding. April 24th of this year, we are going to be, when I say we, my band, The Pride, and I, so that's the name of my band, Paris, Winningham, and The Pride are going to be at Tiny Dock here in Jacksonville, Florida. And that's going to be an awesome event. We're going to have fun. That's going to be the first event for those people that show up. That's going to be the first time that The Pride will be live. And so I'm extremely excited about introducing my band for the first time to everybody. And we're not having, it's not going to be the whole band. All together, we're about a good, 10, 11 piece band all together. But I'm gonna bring a good 5 piece this time.
Nice.
Try to keep it light. I ain't gonna hit y'all too hard, straight off the bat. But oh man, it's gonna be awesome. April 24th, I'm really looking forward to it. April 29th, we're going to be at right back here in Jacksonville, Florida, opening up for the Shrimp Festival, which is also going to be awesome. Paris, Winningham, and The Pride will be there. I'm going to have my trio this time, but we still going to have fun, and I can't wait. I can't wait. So you guys stay tuned. We got some other dates coming up, working on trying to do a tour, working on trying to do some other things and getting out to other venues. And, hey, look, if you know a venue that you want me to come and be a part of, and you want me to come and tear the place down, then feel free. You can reach out to my manager. All my info is right in the bio on my Instagram page. Her email is right in there. Just tap on that and send her an email and send my manager an email. Let her know, hey, look, I want Paris here.
Yeah.
And, we'll try to work it out.
Love that. So for the beautiful people watching right now that said, I love Paris, I want to support him, what do you recommend that they do?
Follow me, man. Follow me. I'm working on some stuff for the people that have been begging for it. I am going to come out with my first single, and it's going to be Tennessee Whiskey. It's going to be my cover of Tennessee Whiskey. I know people have been begging for it, so definitely gonna do that. And I have a number of other things that I'm working on, but for right now, just keep up to date. Come out to the shows. Like I said, you want me at a venue, hit up my manager, let her know, hey, look, I want Paris at this, venue and everything, and we'll try to work things out. You can follow me on my Instagram at Paris_win37. That's Paris_win, WINN 37. You can find me. I have a artist page on Facebook, Paris Winningham. You'll find it on there. I have a fan club, I guess, on Facebook, Paris Winningham official fan page, and so you can follow me on those and just keep up to date, and I'll keep you guys up to date. You can also check me out on my website, Paris Win. That's Paris WINN.com. Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Paris, and if you're in the area, go see him live. He has 2 shows coming up at the end of April.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun. I promise you. It's gonna be awesome.
So Paris, that's all the questions I have for you this evening. But guys, don't go anywhere because Paris is gonna sing for us.
Let's see if I can get a couple out. See if I can get a couple out. This first song is gonna be fun. It's funny I mentioned John Mayer. So for those John Mayer fans that are in the room, and for the John Mayer fans that are going to be watching, let's see if we can go ahead and kick this one off and have some fun with this. All right, here we go. This is going to be fun.
Connected to the things Z called free.
Ah, yeah, there we go. That sounds good. I like that. All right. Gravity is working against me. Gravity only wants to bring me down. Oh, I'll never know what makes this man with all the love that his heart can stand. Dream of ways to throw it all away. Oh, gravity is working against me. Oh, gravity, yeah, only wants to bring me down. Oh, twice as much ain't twice as good. You can't sustain like a one half good. It's one and more that's gonna send me to my knees. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, twice as much ain't twice as good. It can't sustain like a one half could. Oh, it's one and more. It's gonna send me to my knees. Gravity, yeah. Oh, stay the hell away from me. Oh, 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 gravity, yeah. It's taking a better man than me. Oh, how can that be? Just keep me where the light is. Oh, no, 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 no. Keep me where the light is. Oh, keep me where the light is. Oh, 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 keep me where the light is. Oh, 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 keep me where the light is. Keep me where the light is. That was fun. I like that.
Guys, give it up for Paris.
That was fun.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
I might need to add that into my little set list.
Oh, definitely.
That's gonna be fun, man. Oh man. So quick story, real quick story. So my first time at Henson Studios, which is where we did our recording for The Voice. So every time you listen to our iTunes and everything like that, those are the songs that that's where we're recording. So one of the producers come into where we're sitting, and they go, "John Mayer's in the courtyard." And I said, "What?" And it was like, "Yeah." I'm like, you're lying. He's like, no, go out there and look. So, you know, like we're all casually, and it's so casual, like everybody comes out of the room and they're stepping out into the courtyard to see if John Mayer's there. Like, oh yeah, we all decided at the last, you know, at the same time to come outside. We're all trying to act all nonchalant and come out. Some of us are like, you know, just relaxing and, you know, sitting back, and he's sitting over there chilling. And I'm like, dude, John Mayer's like, you know, 20, 30 feet away from me. That's crazy. So, you know, I go in, I do my song, I come back out, and I'm like starstruck, because for those people that don't know, Henson Studios is where they shot We Are the World. Mm-hmm. And recorded We Are the World. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I'm in history right now. This is amazing. I'm in music history, and in general, just history right now is all around me. So I'm like so starstruck, and I'm walking around. I got my tea in my hand. I got my mask on my wrist. It should have been around my face, but I'm like so starstruck and awestruck by everything that's around me. And then all of a sudden, we hit the corner, and John's entourage comes around the corner. And sure enough, the man himself, John Mayer, is walking towards me. And it's like a split moment, like, you know, like in movies when everything kind of like slows down, and just like, you know, we had a moment, you know, where like, you know, time slowed down. I looked at him. I said, it's nice to meet you. And he looked at me and said, it's nice to meet you too. And then we kept walking. And then I thought to myself, I looked at my wrist and I was like, oh man. I was like, he's probably like, who's this douchebag think he is? He gets to walk around with no mask on, and his whole team was masked up. The guy in front of me that was walking me through the hallways, he was masked up, and I'm walking around, no mask on, got it on my wrist. I'm like, way to go, buddy. Like, first impression is the last impression. You probably like messed that up. But no, it was
at least he saw your face.
Yeah, he saw my face. He's gonna remember me.
He's going to remember you, Paris.
Anybody else on The Voice, like, he saw me.
Totally.
So, but yeah, no, it was awesome.
That's awesome. So cool. Also, we need a Paris John Mayer duet. Like, we need to like.
I would probably pass out maybe like 5 times in the middle.
Yes.
You know, while we're doing it, they're probably gonna have to get somebody to come back and, you know, bring me back in Paris. Hey, wake up. You know, you got to finish the song. Oh, okay, let me get up and finish the song. You know, and then I realized, oh my God, it's John Mayer, and I'll probably pass out again. You know, but no, that would be awesome. Him, John Legend.
Needs to happen. We're manifesting it, Paris.
It's going to happen.
It's happening.
It's going to happen. Most definitely.
It's definitely going to happen. So, Paris, what's your next one?
Let's do a little Sam Cooke.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna have fun with this. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living. I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Should I go to the movies? And I go downtown. Oh, somebody keeps telling me, don't you hang around. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Yeah. go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. Yeah. Oh, but my brother, oh, he keeps knocking me down. Yeah. He knocks me down, back on my knees. Ooh, there were times that I thought I wouldn't last too long. Oh, yeah. But I thank God I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know, change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Ooh, that was fun.
Woo!
Fun.
Yes!
Oh, that was fun.
Guys, give it up
that
for
was
Paris
fun.
Winningham.
That
Killing it.
That was fun.
Oh, Paris.
I finished my tea too, so I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
I love it. So, do you have some time for people to ask you some questions?
Yeah, let's go.
Beautiful. So, guys, if you're in the chat right now and you have questions for Paris, put them in the comment section below and he will get to them.
Let's go. This is going to be fun. I like this part.
Yes. Paris, what does success mean to you?
Success means doing what you love to do and getting paid for it. For me, my dad used to tell me, he said, Paris, whatever you do for the rest of your life, like whatever it is that you choose to do and make a living out of, brother, he was like, make sure it's something that you love to do.
Yeah.
And I would always, try to convince myself with all the many jobs that I've had. I've been a cell phone salesman. I've been water softener salesman. I've worked at a grocery store bagging groceries. I've worked at a movie rental. It's crazy, movie rental.
That's a long time ago, Paris.
Telling my age, golly. But no, I've worked as a movie rental salesman. I've done so much, and I tried to convince myself how happy I was to be doing those jobs. And though I was happy to have a job, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I can truly say, even when I was in the Navy, I figured I had found the one thing I was going to do for the rest of my life. This is it, and it wasn't. It wasn't. I ended up finding, my love of music was my true passion. So, yeah, things ended up working out.
And following your true passion.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I loved it.
So important.
Still do.
So important. Jen May says, when is your next live show in Jax besides Tiny Doc concert?
The next one, also April 29th. Besides the Tiny Doc, I'll be opening it up for the Shrimp Festival, which is going to be fun. So
cool.
Other than that, those are the only two ones. We're working on another festival. So buckle up for that. And we're working on a show at the Ritz. So buckle up for that. I'm also working on trying to put together a gospel tour. For those people that know me, they know my faith is very important to me. And gospel music is my roots. That's where I came up. So most definitely, I want to put together a gospel tour, go around to a couple of churches here in the local area, and just have a blast, have a good time, and just sit back and put on some put on a good performance for the people and let them have some good times, listening to music. So we're working on it.
Awesome. What advice would you give to other young singers who see you and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be like Paris when I grow up? What advice do you have for them?
Be better than me. don't try to be the next Paris. Be the first you. You know. Though I look up to certain people in the music industry, I also understand, not so much in a cocky standpoint, but just in a confident standpoint that they're not me.
Yeah.
They can't do what I can do. Now, there's certain things that they can do that I can't do, but there's just like every snowflake is different, and no snowflake is the same. No voice is the same. There are similarities in certain people's voices, but everybody's voice is unique. And so that being the case, you want to make sure that you find that uniqueness and what makes you stand out, and try your best to continue to work on your passion. If it's your gift and it's your passion, it's what you want to do, then every day, put time into perfecting your craft every day.
Yeah. Practice
Don't
makes
let a day
perfect.
go by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let a day go by without singing.
Now, do you sing every day?
Every day.
Every day. And
it naturally ends up happening.
yeah.
Whether I want to or not. Now there are times where I will put myself on a complete vocal rest. Like I won't talk at all. I won't talk at all. I will literally, text, and the people that, if like my friends come over to the house and they want to talk to me, they know, text me, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to respond. I'll text back to you, but yeah, that's been the best thing for me. I found sometimes you gotta have those vocal rest days where you just, you've been working hard all weekend, your voice is kind of scraggly, and instead of damaging it more by continuing to talk and rubbing the vocal cords together, sometimes it's best to just rest your vocal cords.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sing every day, but also listen to yourself and know when you need to take that rest.
Listen to your body. Your body's never going to lie to you. Your body's going to tell you when it needs rest, when it needs to, my dad used to tell me that all the time. Don't ignore your body. If your body is tired, and that's another thing, try not to sing when you're tired,
Yeah.
I know for us people that are in the music industry and us people that have the privilege to be on these big platforms and these big stages, it gets to be a whole lot, and you're in high demand, and people are wanting you to be here, there, and everywhere, and you're constantly moving. But don't neglect yourself. Don't forget about you, and don't get so caught up in trying to make a name for yourself that you burn yourself out. So, and burnout is real. Trust me. I know. You'll be moving 1 minute, and the next you sit down for like 5 seconds, and you find out that you're dog tired and you can't get back up. So just make sure you keep yourself focused on your health and taking care of yourself, and what you put in your body is very important. I can go into a little like different tips and tricks. Honey is your best friend if you're a vocalist. Is your best friend. Now, whether you're a vocalist, whether you speak, whether you sing, whatever you do, if you do something vocally, honey is your best friend. Like not everybody can get their hands on tea, because I have throat coat tea is one of my go-tos. It is my go-to. But I tell people, I was like, if you can't get throat coat tea, if you can at least get your hands on water and a bottle of water and some honey, you're good. And take that and shake it up and sip on that throughout the day. And that'll coat your vocal cords and give you that lubrication on your vocal cords that you need. So those small little tips.
Definitely. So Paris, that brings us to the end of our show. Do you have any final words for the room?
Man, thank you all so much for your support, and for backing me. you know, I look forward to really putting out some great music for you all. You know, in the infancy of my music career now, and so I'm looking forward to some big things coming across the horizon. And last but not least, you know, thank you so much, Ashley, for bringing me on to this show, and I've had fun chatting with you. Thank you. I'm about to go crash and pass out.
I know. Paris, thank you so much for coming to my show. This has been so much fun. Please come back when you have stuff to promote. We'll talk about it. Awesome. Paris, thank you so much. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Paris Winningham. He has shows coming up. Follow him, stream the music, support him. And guys, continue to support all the wonderful artists that I have on this show. Be safe, you know, stay safe, be kind, listen to good music, and support my guy Paris. If you don't already, he has some stuff coming up at the end of April that you guys need to go and support. So make sure to follow Paris, and make sure to follow your girl, Ashley Live, if you don't already. Thank you so much, guys. Have fun, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.